Brave Readathon. As you can tell, I've just woken up. It is around 8 o'clock and I have about 45 minutes until I have to be in home group for my online schooling, which is exhilarating. And I have lots of free periods today, which is lovely. I have 2 classes. I finish school around 12:45, I think is the time. So yeah, I'm planning on doing a lot of reading today. I had quite a productive weekend reading-wise. I finished 3 books. I read the last book in the series of Unfortunate Events. I read the Beatrice Letters and The Witches by Roald Dahl. All of them were really good, of course, but particularly the Beatrice Letters because, oh boy, the plot twists. Excuse that, my fountain pen exploded the other day. Alright, so our first book prompt for this week is to read a book that intimidates you. My first thought with this was to just read a really big book. For me, that's It by Stephen King. I've tried to get through it about 3 times and I just can't get past the halfway mark. But then I thought, wait, hold on. This is a readathon that takes place in a week. There was no way I was going to get through that in a week, as well as 2 other books. So I scrapped that idea and I thought, what else intimidates me? I have a vague memory of when I was about maybe 8 or 9 and our parents took us to Queensland to go swimming on the Great Barrier Reef, which was great, but when they threw me into the water and I looked down and I couldn't see anything apart from a couple of fish swimming by, I just couldn't see anything. I freaked out pretty much. And ever since then, I've had a fear of deep water. I just don't like to think about it. I don't know if it's the thought of something coming up from below that I can't see or me like sinking down forever. I don't know, I just don't like it. I'm not sure if you've seen the movie Sphere with Dustin Hoffman. It is absolutely amazing, but it takes place in like a submarine thing at the bottom of the ocean and it's absolutely terrifying. And it got me thinking, what book did they read in that movie? 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I don't know what a league is, but 20,000 of them sounds like a big chunk. The only reference I have to this book is that Sphere movie. This is by Jules Verne. I tried to read his Around the World in 80 Days. I didn't end up finishing it, either because his writing style or it was just really dated, like the political views are a bit iffy for me. I still want to give it another go because the movie is one of my favorites of all time. So I guess you could say this book intimidates me in multiple ways. It has the aspect of really deep water and Jules Verne. And I have no idea what this story is about. I'm not sure what type of animal is on the front cover. It looks like a shark. The diving helmets give off Grim Grotto vibes. Looks like they have spears and weapons in their hands as well. Ugh. The image I'm getting is they're down in the submarine and something's attacking it and they have to leave and kill it. Ugh, yuck. It looks like it has like a stinger on the end. I hope that it's just its flipper. And I'm not sure what that is down there. I don't want to know. So I'm going to read the blurb to you. Strike mad vessel, shower your useless shot, and then you will not escape the spur of the Nautilus. Following a spate of maritime attacks and numerous reported sightings of a giant creature, the United States government dispatches the Abraham Lincoln to hunt down the ocean menace, whatever it is. The expedition party includes renowned scientist Pierre Aronnax and his trusty manservant along with expert harpooner Ned Land. When the ship finds its target, all 3 are tossed overboard and swallowed up in the ensuing battle. Oh my god. But this sea-dwelling monster has a metal skin and is driven by human desires. The submarine Nautilus, commanded by the mysterious, volatile Captain Nemo. Oh, I thought Captain Nemo was, Moby Dick. Oh. The prisoners are well treated, and Aronnax, I want to say Anorax? I don't know what that is. The prisoners are well treated, and Aronnax relishes the wondrous sights they encounter on their travel. Extraordinary marine life, wrecks of ancient galleons, and the chance to gaze upon the lost city of Atlantis.
The third theory is that those lost in the Bermuda Triangle are actually now residents of the legendary lost civilization of Atlantis.
No, they're not.
The battles with giant squid and polar ice show that mortal jeopardy is never far away, and the greatest danger of all lies in a deranged captain who has cut himself off from civilization and is waging a revenge-driven personal war. Don't really need to read it now, do I? It's also much bigger than I remember it being when I put it on my shelf. I thought it was about this size, and the writing's pretty tiny, so I'm gonna have to crack down on this one. But first, breakfast and getting ready. That's fun. That's a lot. They encountered this moving mass 5 miles off the eastern shores of Australia. Yay! I think that's where the Great Barrier Reef is. I knew it. I knew that place was sketchy, I'm telling you. I like how there's all this speculation, you know, there's massive creatures attacking all of these different ships. There's so many different accounts of it, and everyone's like, ah, it must be a narwhal. I've read the first 2 chapters and I actually really like it. It was a bit hard to get into at first. It kind of reminded me of the books we have to read for school sometimes that are unnecessarily old. Like, it takes a while for your head to click in with the type of language that they use, but other than that, I'm really enjoying it. I kind of regret reading the blurb now because it did give away a lot of the book as far as I know. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Now I'm going to get ready for my home group. Hopefully I'll be able to read through it, and then I have a free period after that, so I'll probably read during that one as well. So the good news is home group just wasn't working this morning, so I didn't have to go. But now I have a free period. My English work was uploaded early, so I think I might just knock that out, so then I have like a longer period of time to read, so I'm going to do that. Well, that was painful. Okay, I'm getting a bit stressed. So they're setting sail on a ship, right, which is above water. So why are they 20,000 leagues under the sea? I don't think I want to know. Also, I'm starting to see a lot of correlations between this book and the Sphere film I spoke about. As much as I can remember from the film, at least I haven't seen it for a while. Both of them seem to have a group of people that get chosen for their specialities in different things to hunt something in the ocean. Okay, so I'm currently reading during math class because I finished all the work. I have an issue. He keeps using vomiting, but not in the normal way. He's done it 3 times and I'm only on page 55. Also, Professor Aronnax has just been thrown overboard next to the mysterious creature, and I'm frightened. Well, it has been a bit of a day. It's about 5:30 now, and I've just finished filming and editing a video that should be out. Try and work out what time it would be for when this video is coming out. It should be last Monday. Yeah, it's the shaving my head video if you're interested. That one's just uploading now. In between editing things that I had to wait for, I could have been reading, but I went on TikTok instead. So I'm kind of like a bit nervous because I haven't been that productive with reading today. I don't think I've read since before I cooked lunch, so I might just stay up a bit late tonight. But I'm kind of excited to do that because I always say like, oh, I'm gonna have a reading night tonight with my hot chocolate, and I never do because I get tired. So at least tonight I'll have an excuse to do that, which I'm excited for. There's 2 pages straight of bloody Jules Verne talking about the dynamics of a submarine, and I don't understand any of it. I open some stopcocks, the tanks fill, the boat sinks, and it's exactly flush with the surface of water. What? It's been doing this for the past 2 pages. I want to cry. Good morning. It is currently Tuesday, I think. Yeah, it's 8 o'clock. You know how I said I was gonna have like a big reading night last night? No, I just got so tired. I don't know what happened. So I got about halfway through where I wanted to be. So now I'm gonna have a cheeky read before my classes start this morning. And I have 1 other free period today. I also have theatre, which is a bit hard to do online, so I don't know if we have any work for that class, which is good. So I'm up to the bit where they're like in the ocean with like just their diving suits on, and it's horrible. They're going through this underwater forest where they can't see past the seaweed, and I think that might be what the cover is. I don't know, but they've just come across a giant spider in the ocean. So, you know, it's just getting a bit worse, isn't it? It's fine. Alrighty, so I read for a little bit longer, as you know. I think I'm roughly 2 chapters off what I originally anticipated I would read yesterday. I'm really enjoying this. I didn't think I would because, like I said, I didn't really like Around the World in 80 Days, but this is really good. It's making me look at the ocean in a different way, which is hard to explain, but basically one of the characters, Captain Nemo, he leaves the land in his submarine, which is what Professor Aronnax, the main character, is rescued by, and he vows to never go to the land again. And just like the first couple chapters on the submarine, we learn about how Captain It's a series of unfortunate events, oh my goodness. Captain Nemo can live off the ocean like everyone else lives off the land, like he has his own alcohol. Jules Verne tended to ramble a little bit, so I don't really understand much of it, but it's like a lot of food and stuff. He basically gets everything he needs from the ocean. The one thing he can't get, I think, is air, which he has to come to the surface for. But I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, he can even get electricity from things. I didn't really understand it, which is my biggest problem with this book, is he tends to definitely explain the scientific stuff, which I do not understand at all. He goes into chemistry, the classification of different like algae and stuff. Oftentimes his definition of a description is just a page worth of different like mussel species and like different clams. Like he goes into Captain Nemo's museum and he just describes every single object in the museum, which isn't my thing. But other than that, I'm really enjoying it, and I finished all of my literature work, so I'm gonna read until I have to be back on the class call. Like actual snails, we are at home in our shell, and I can vouch that it's easy to turn into a full-fledged snail. Thank you, Jules Verne. I was just reading and I remembered a scene from The Sphere that made me nearly vomit, so I thought I'd share it with you. Oh god. I can't remember the context, but I know Queen Latifah leaves the little submarine. Oh, it's so bad. And she gets covered in jellyfish. Thank you, this has been my TED Talk. Good morning. I think this might have been the same spot I was filming in yesterday, but it's a different outfit, different day. It is now Wednesday, it is 9 AM. Our home group link isn't working again, so I thought I'd give you guys a little update. So yeah, I got to the second part in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea yesterday, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't end up reading after that because my boyfriend came around for dinner, which I'm pretty sure is allowed because significant others are allowed to visit each other during quarantine. It was great. We played Scrabble, we watched MasterChef, and didn't read anything. So I woke up before my alarm this morning, so I decided I would read a little bit, and I think I got through 2 chapters, which means I have 21 more chapters to read today if I want to stay on track for this readathon, which I'm not sure if that's gonna happen, but we'll see, we'll try. I have double theatre again this morning. I guess I'll see what work he assigns and decide if I want to do it or if I want to read instead. It'll probably be the latter, but we'll see. They are about to venture into the underwater... What? They're about to go underwater again. Last time they were hunting, this time they're looking for these pearls or something. I have a theory. Okay, so I think that Captain Nemo is gay for Professor Aronnax, right? It's really weird. Here is my case. Exhibit A. Captain Nemo takes Professor Aronnax and the other 2 prisoner on his ship, but not like prisoners. He lets them do whatever they want. He even lets them go out hunting in Papua, which is a different story. Very rarely there will be an instance where Captain Nemo will just tell them to go to their rooms and they can't come out until he says so. And they're like, okay, which has only happened once and it's kind of weird. I have a theory about that, but I won't spoil it. Exhibit 2. Captain Nemo gives Professor Aronnax the room right next to his that has a door that joins up with it. Just saying. Exhibit 3. You know how in Beauty and the Beast, Belle is captured by the beast or she has to stay with him and he's like, you can't leave, but you can have my library. That happens in the sub. It's just underwater. It's Beauty and the Beast underwater. Also, I think the feeling's mutual because Captain Nemo goes missing several days at a time and Professor Aronnax is always like, I'm longing for his presence. I miss him. I think about him all the time. And I think everyone's gay in this book actually, because his servant Consul, I don't know how to pronounce it, he shares a room with Ned Land, who's the harpooner, and before they got stuck on the Nautilus, on the submarine, Ned Land took a liking to Professor Aronnax because he was French, and Ned Land is Canadian, and that's like a thing, I think, I don't know. And they were like low-key flirting, they kept winking at each other, and I was like, But then it's revealed that Ned Land had a fiance at some point, but I'm down for some bi-representation. Anyway, I should keep reading. Howdy doody. I read through the entirety of theatre and then fell asleep. So I'm enjoying it, it's good, I'm happy. Now I've got to watch a play for literature, and I also didn't do the psych questions last week. So I'm going to do questions for psychology and watch literature and not read, but I'll get to it. Right, we've got to get down to business now because I fell asleep while reading for the second time today. So it is currently 9 PM. I am this far from finishing and we're gonna do it tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we've been scammed. All this long we assume that 20,000 leagues under the sea means 20,000 leagues vertically. However, across the book, Professor Aronnax always brings up, like, since we left Japan, it's been like 6,000 leagues. Now it's 14,000 leagues. So they don't mean that they travelled 20,000 leagues downwards into the sea, which is what I thought. They just travelled 20,000 leagues, but did it while under the sea. for 20,000 leagues, just under the sea. Bit disappointed in that. It was 20,000 leagues horizontally. I'm losing my mind. Well, that was an adventure. Excuse the hair, I've just washed it. I fell asleep last night with 5 chapters to go, so I thought I'd finish it this morning, and it's very good. I enjoyed it. It was strange because there were so many things in it in terms of like writing style, but also characters that I should hate, if that makes sense. Like I wouldn't guess that I would like it, but it was so endearing. It's really hard to explain. It was just like a nice escape, and it was so immersive and thorough, I want to say. The ending was a bit weird. I don't want to say lazy, but I won't spoil it, but he did a thing where like the main character, they get in trouble and then he passes out and they're all of a sudden safe. Like he didn't do anything to solve the conflict, it just happened, which happens a lot. The main character kind of just like stands back and goes, oh, okay, that's cool. It's like, but other than that, I really enjoyed it. My plan is to now start my next book. Give me a sec. This is my next book. I'm super excited. I read The Witches on the weekend and I knew I wanted to read a Roald Dahl book in this readathon, not only because they were short and easy and I knew I'd get through them, but also because, you know, you can't have a Roald Dahl book without a brave main character. So I think I'm just gonna get straight started with this one. I haven't read it before. I've seen the 2 films, both the films that were adapted from it, but I've never read it and I'm excited. Trying to read my book.
Who doesn't love a chipmunk singing a happy birthday?
Me. Howdy doody. It is around 12 o'clock on Wednesday. It's Friday. Anyway, Friday. I'm sorry I didn't film that much yesterday. At least I don't think I did. I was in a mood. It is like that point of my period where you just don't get anything out of me, and I don't know how much you're gonna get out of me today. I've been putting off reading all day because I suddenly got very overconfident about reading the BFG very quickly. I don't know if that'll work, but I'm thinking I'll get through it quickly. I've been watching the Star Kid gang read the Hocus Pocus script. It's hilarious. Like, you don't think you need Nick Lang reading as an 8-year-old girl until you see it. That was my dog. I also played a game of Scrabble by myself while I watched it. So I have the rest of lunch off until 1:45, in which I have to go to theatre. So I intend to spend the rest of that one drinking tea and reading. Mr. and Mrs. Gucci, the Guccis. Gucci. Not sponsored. So the BFG is telling Sophie about how the gobble cruncher or something goes off to Turkey to eat the people in Turkey, and she's like, what's wrong with England then? They don't eat Greeks either because they taste greasy. Sophie decided that this conversation had now gone on long enough. If she was going to be eaten, she'd rather get it over and done with right away than be kept hanging around anymore. I don't think the BFG is that tall. I mean, he's 24 feet and the other giants are 50 feet, which is like a big chunk. I'm pretty sure Gru's 14 feet. My dad's 6.5. So 4 of my dad's a lot, but it's not that much. I feel like in the movie he was portrayed as a lot bigger. Hello. It is currently Sunday and it's like 9 p.m. I had a bit of a filming break over the weekend, but I have been reading nonetheless. Yesterday I finished the BFG and of course it was absolutely amazing. It was a lot like the film I saw when I was a kid, and so it was very, very nostalgic, which is really nice. There was a cute little plot twist at the end that I'd forgotten about and that just made my heart warm. So yeah, I always love Roald Dahl. He was kind of the author I was aware of first, if that makes sense. Like, he was the first person I ever really heard of that like made a living out of making books. I think that's where my passion for writing first started. This morning, I started The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho? Oh, I'm that's what that is. As well as being a hairdresser, my mum is also a pathologist, and she's been visiting lots of people during this time and taking all of their blood. She's taking everyone's blood, watch out. No, oh my god. Basically, she had a client who was giving away free books and she stole this one for me. This covers our prompt of having an S in the title. It also has a H. I just really love the look of it. It's quite witchy and like spiritual, and that matches up with the book very well. It's basically about a kid called Santiago, I believe. He's from Spain, but then he has to go on his personal journey. He finds out what his personal journey is to Egypt to find this treasure, and we don't know what that is. These are all the quotes that I found really interesting. I'm learning a lot as well, particularly about Muslim culture and all of that stuff. And it's really thought-provoking. I've talked long enough. I have this much to go. I think it's only like 50 pages and it's pretty breezy to read, so I'm gonna try and knock it out tonight. Also, the design of this book stresses me out, right? Because you look at it and it's like, oh yes, paperback because it folds out, but it's just part of the book. It's distressing. My heart is a traitor, the boy said to the alchemist when they had paused to rest the horses. It doesn't want me to go on. That makes sense, the alchemist answered. Naturally, it's afraid that in pursuing your dream, you might lose everything you've won. Well then, why should I listen to my heart? Because you'll never again be able to keep it quiet. Even if you pretend not to have heard what it tells you, it will always be there inside you, repeating to you what you're thinking about life and about the world. I need to fix that. Well, I finished the book last night and that was an interesting ending. I don't know if it made the book better or worse. I won't spoil it, but I'm gonna force my boyfriend to read it so we can discuss it because I just have so many thoughts, but I don't know. I don't know. I think I'd probably give it a 4 stars overall because it was good. It was really good, but it was like almost there, if that makes sense. And that's the same for 20,000 Leagues. But then the BFG is 5 stars, obviously. Overall, I think we did pretty good this week in terms of books. I actually finished the challenge, which I didn't think was gonna happen. Oh my goodness. And I actually really enjoyed it as well, which it was hard in the middle of the week, but I warmed up to it in the end. I think I'm gonna go now because I have an essay to write this morning and I'm not excited. But it's our last week of online schooling and I'm very ready to be back at school, let's put it that way. Anyway, thank you very, very much for watching. Did you guys participate in the Books with the Brave Readathon? Let me know. If you didn't, what books did you read this week? Another question, do you like this style of video? I didn't like filming it at first, but I'm kind of warming up to it because I can just grab the camera and talk whenever I want. But whether or not you guys like it, please let me know. Also, do you want reviews, like proper reviews for any of the books I've read this week? I don't know how I'd do it, but I'd give it a go. I'm particularly interested in The Alchemist because I think that has a lot of good discussion points. So if you guys want to hear my thoughts on that, please let me know as well. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you're staying safe wherever you are and you're having a good day. If any of you are new here, I do journaling videos, I do writing videos, I do music videos. So if you're interested in any of that, please have a little snoop around my channel. But anyway, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.